Hello and welcome to your new lesson, Homeowners Insurance. So the last video that we did, we talked about tenants insurance, and now the second part of property insurance is homeowners insurance. So it's going to be lots of very similar steps with looking at charts and all that kind of stuff. But let's just go through this. So add up the value of your house. Oh, that looks brutal. It looks like horse. House and belongings. And decide what type of insurance. Standard versus comprehensive. Now, we have an actual kind of standard versus comprehensive insurance kind of information just to see. Standard covers less things than comprehensive, but this right here is just kind of an example. So, for example, I just wanna highlight this one right here. We're noticing that with standard insurance, the contents of the house would not be included or not covered. However, if you go to the comprehensive insurance, if something fell inside of the building, your contents would be covered. Another example right here, impact by aircraft or land vehicle, including one's own insured vehicle. So, if planes or boats come at your home, standard insurance will not cover any of your possessions, your belongings, but if you go comprehensive, then it would. So some people opt, another really big one would be the sewer backup. So if there's a sewer backup in your house, with standard insurance it would not be covered, but with the building or your contents, but with comprehensive it would. Okay, so just something to keep in mind when you're purchasing insurance. Standard is a little bit less expensive, but it covers less things. So the biggest step right here, how close are you to a fire hydrant? Or a fire station? So this is what makes it tricky. There are 4 different areas that you can choose from. So area 1 will be Metro Winnipeg or Brandon. So area 2 is less than 1,000 meters from a hydrant. Area 3 is less than 10 kilometers from a fire station. And then area 4 is greater than 10 kilometers from a fire station. Okay, so if somebody, say, is 2.5 kilometers from a fire station, that means that they would be in area 2. Or if they don't live, like for me, I live in Birtle, but I live less than 100 meters from a fire hydrant. 1,000 meters from a fire hydrant. So I would be in area 2, for example. So then, just like with tenants insurance, we figure out the deductible. So a $500 deductible is always going to be just a little bit less money because you have to pay more money up front before they do the work. So read the chart and remember this is per year. Or if you want to go for the $200 deductible, you have to increase the chart value by 10%. I'm going to also add one piece of information to this question, so be ready to write that down. Bill lives 500 meters from a fire hydrant. The value of his house is $295,000. What will his annual payment be if he wants comprehensive insurance and a $200 deductible. I'm going to add one thing too. He wishes to cover $20,000 worth of belongings. Okay, so step one, we need to figure out the amount. So we're going to have $295,000. So that's the house value, plus $20,000 worth of belongings, for a total of $315,000. Okay, step number two, we know that he's going for comprehensive insurance. Step number three, we have to figure out what area. So I'm just going to highlight the important stuff. He lives 500 meters away from a fire hydrant. So when I look at my areas here, it doesn't say he lives in a city, okay, in Winnipeg or Brandon, but he's less. 500 is less than 1,000 meters from the hydrant, so he will be in area 2. So step number one, the first part of this one is we're going to read chart value for 200,000. Okay, so when I look at the chart, area 2, comprehensive, so I'm just going to circle this right here. This is what we're looking at. And I'm going to say, okay, 200,000, we're going to go here. So when I look to see where the information crosses, for 200,000 for comprehensive, area 2 for the year would be, it would just be 571. So I'm going to say this is going to be 571. So now what we're going to do is we're going to find the additional. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have 315,000 minus 200,000 is going to be 115,000. Okay, so now what I need to figure out is how many additional thousands. So I'm going to see, I'm going to write that 115,000 and I'm going to divide it by 1,000. It always feels like a trick question. So 115,000 divided by 1,000 is going to be 115. So we have $115,000 blocks that we want to add to. So now I take that additional 115 and I multiply it by that chart value. So for every additional $1,000 of coverage, we need to multiply the amount by the number of thousands by $3.03. So I'm going to say 115 times $3.03, and I get that total being $348.45. So I'm going to take the amount for the year for 200,000 and I'm going to add it to the additional amount. Okay, so I'm going to take my 571 and we're going to say plus 348.45, and I get a total of $919.45. So this right here is for the $500 deductible, but we have one more step. We need a $200 deductible. Okay, so we're going to take our $919.45 and we're going to multiply it by 1.1 to add that 10%. And then we get $1,011.40. So that is the total. Oh, I feel like yeah, there we go. I didn't box the answer. So now what you can do is you can go and do your homeowners insurance questions.